So, I let the phone charge a little bit. So, I'm gonna knock out some more videos. I'm gonna do some more videos before I check out of my hotel. So, you know, um, I'm gonna talk about some other stuff. So, with that being said, of course, you guys knew I was gonna talk about this. There's certain things for those who've been following the channel for a long time. There are certain subjects that you already know that Town Biz is gonna cover because that's what I do. So, you know, um, so Fat Joe finally responds to Tariq Nasheed about FDAs and how big of a role Puerto Ricans played in creating hip hop, which is next to none. They really didn't create hip hop. And that was exposed in the movie Microphone Check and among other things. Now, you got people like KRS-One, Caven, and all this kind of stuff. But I warned people about Fat Joe a while ago. Fat Joe is not one of us. He is a perpetrator and he is a complete fraud. For years, Fat Joe said that he wasn't black. Oh, I'm Latino. But you saw over the last 15 years or so, you started to see, oh, what's up, Dre? We should call him Fat Joke because that's what he is. He's a joke. Now, I will say this much. I'm not going to lie. I did buy Fat Joe's music. I bought a couple of his albums. I ain't gonna lie, Don Cartagena is a dope album. It was fire. So, I'll give him his props. But he tweeted saying that some of the hip hop legends happen to be black and Puerto Rican. So are you black, Joe, or are you Puerto Rican? Which one are you? But see, this is why I blame the black community because we get mesmerized by people that ain't black that'll have knowledge of the black community or they'll speak on a particular subject pertaining to the black community, pretending as if they're our ally, but they're really trying to infiltrate us and soak up information and take it back to their community. That's been did to us time and time again. And you've seen the history of Puerto Ricans playing both sides of the fence. When they're around blacks, they're black, but when they ain't around blacks, they're Latino. When they're around whites, um, they're not black. So they play both sides of the fence. I know that up close and personal. I'm gonna say this again. There ain't no damn black and brown alliance. Keep telling y'all that. I'll give you an example why black people is easy to infiltrate. Why it's easy to infiltrate the black community. And I went off on this dude too. Now listen, everybody knows I'm a fan of Caleb Plant. I like Caleb Plant. I mess with Caleb Plant. When y'all started to first, get wind of my channel, when I first started to cover boxing, my very first interview was with Caleb Plant. And Caleb Plant has always showed me love. He's always showed my correspondent Migs love. So I support Caleb Plant. I'll roll with him. But he's not a brother. But this dude, so Caleb Plant recently was hanging out, I think, at South Central with Snoop. We all know Caleb Plant likes hip hop music. He has a black wife and everything. And every black person that I've been around has had nothing but good things to say about Caleb Plant. Black, white, Latino. Caleb Plant seemed to be a stand-up dude and a cool dude. But he's not black. He's not one of us. But some black dude was so moved seeing him in the hood. Oh, you can't tell me Caleb Plant ain't one of us and all that stuff. And Caleb Plant is, I went off on that dude. I was like, you are the problem. You are the problem. I say, so what about all the brothers that's actually black that live in South Central or live in the hood? And you might be some gangbanger that harass these young brothers and sisters because they wore a certain color and they wasn't part of the gang. And you may have played a role in harming them or possibly taking their life. But Caleb Plant comes to the hood, he's sensationalized. That's exactly what's wrong with black people. That type of stuff right there. The infatuation. The, ooh, I think they like me. I want them. Black people try to play that role, but they want acceptance so bad. Not me, because I don't. Everybody knows I don't give a damn what people that look like us think or people that don't look like us. So I had to say that, and I went off on that dude. Y'all are the problem. This so-called barbecue stuff, this hood pass, this N-word pass. Real talk. Oh, he's cool. He can say the N word. He has a black wife. Oh, she has a black husband. So what? Do you, like I said, do you see Asians giving Asian passes to black people, making them an honorary Asian, or or black people being made an honorary Mexican, right? Or black people being made a honorary red dot Indian? Now, as far as the Indian tribes, that's a different story. That's another video for that. But that's what I'm saying. I get tired of hearing that baloney. Just like the whole thing with Richie Incognito, honorary brother. You can say the N word because three lousy coons said so. Come on, man, stop it. But this had to be said. Somebody has to say it. But Fat Joe, that's all he been doing for the past 30 plus years is basically soaking up game, and black people didn't check him. They let him get more comfortable, more and more comfortable with thinking he could speak on issues pertaining to the black community. Let him host BET awards and all that kind of stuff. But then, as this further proves what I've been saying about BET, BET is fraudulent, hasn't been black owned since 2000. But this needed to get said about Fat Joe because Fat Joe is part of the problem. This is what I'm saying. And this is another reason why I don't like dudes like 50 Cent. 50 Cent went against the grain, co-opting Kendrick Lamar, talking to Andrew Schultz. But that's what he do. Well, that's his problem. That's his problem. But then here's the thing, though: with black people accepted him and gave him his honorary nigga pass, which I think is stupid. We really gonna have to have a town hall or something about that. Have a black meeting with just black and black men and black women and really discuss this type of stuff. I keep saying this: we don't have no allies. For real. But he did the go-to move. He said FDA's, FBA's, I said FDA's, but FBA's, he said they were racist and they're broke. Well, how would you know? Just like Fat Joe tried to sneak and take a shot at Mike Tyson about the Jake Paul fight, saying Mike Tyson really needed the bread and all that kind of stuff. Mike Tyson got way more money than Fat Joe. Fat Joe, who been rapping for 30 years, from what I see, has a network between $3 and $6 million. You would think Fat Joe would be worth, and that's funny. Rick Ross been rapping for maybe almost 20 years or close to 20 years, and he's worth far more than Fat Joe. Rick Ross is almost worth like $80 million because of his, business ventures and all that kind of stuff. But Fat Joe been like trying to sneak diss black people and stuff. And then he be just talking like he just that dude. Anybody can be got. I've said that on several occasions. And to be honest with you, I've seen Fat Joe in person. Fat Joe is to me is a white Hispanic. He looked more like an Italian. He looked just like that dude that used to play on Fat Joe looked just Fat Joe looked just like that dude who played on all the mob movies with the bald head, who used to play on he played on a lot of stuff. He played on Ray Donovan, he played on Oz, he recently was on the Sylvester Stallone show, um, the Tulsa King. You know who I'm talking about. That's who Fat Joe looked like. I wouldn't be surprised if they related. Now I'm gonna say this about Tariq Nasheed. I mess with Tariq Nasheed. I know everybody don't like him, and he's not everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine. But I mess with Tariq Nasheed. I went and seen the movie Microphone Check. Tariq Nasheed is on the verge of doing Microphone Check West Coast. I'm gonna try to get in contact with Tariq Nasheed and see can I participate somehow, some way in Microphone Check 2 West Coast. But everything Tariq Nasheed has did, it benefited the black community. He asked for money for donations to get that hit museum built. He got the museum built. He was taking donations to get the movie made. Tariq Nasheed got money from Kyrie Irving and a few other people. Microphone Check got made. Why is it that black people get so triggered when they see black people ask for other black people to support their business ventures, as if everything we do is supposed to be for free? So you don't have no problem fattening the pockets of Asians, Hispanics, white people, Pakistanians, but you think when it pertains to black people, you supposed to get the hookup and everything is supposed to be free when it pertains to the black community. So Tariq Nasheed isn't supposed to support his family and be able to feed his family. You don't have no problem. You don't have no problem supporting everybody else with black people. But when it pertains to support black people, you want to know penny per penny, dollar for dollar, where the money is going. But you don't pocket watch the non-blacks. Make that make sense. And this is why we are where we at right now as a community, as a whole, thinking as backwards. So I'm just saying, but Fat Joe is a clown. And I've been saying that he's a clown, but to me, he gives me agent vibes too. I'm just keeping it 100. Now it'll be somebody that'll argue me to death about how cool Fat Joe is, and they'll look like I say, black people love becoming Perry Mason and defending non-blacks. They do it with Eminem. They do it with Caitlin Clark. They do it with Fat Joe. They do it with you had even a few people trying to defend Andrew Schultz. All of a sudden, you guys want to become Madlock. You want to become Perry Mason. You want to become all these high-end lawyers to defend these non-blacks, when black people question them about some of their antics and some of the stuff they say. I mean, please help me understand that. Is it your upbringing? Do you fail to see things that's obviously going on that's right in your face? I mean, could you please help me understand that? And by the way, 50 Cent is a straight up op. When I say 50 Cent is an agent, 50 Cent is a straight up agent. That's why you always have cops and feds around him and stuff, because them is people. Yeah, black people wasn't nowhere to be found. But you had black people defend. But these same people that left Kyrie Irving hanging, these were the same people that defended Drew Brees. Leave Drew Brees alone. He made a mistake. I mean, Charles Barkley came out in full force defending Drew Brees. You know? But that's what Charles Barkley do. Because Charles Barkley loved the color white. Nah, it ain't about nah. He ain't hella suspect. 50 Cent is an agent. 50 Cent. The reason why 50 Cent and Floyd Mayweather don't get along because they just alike. They desperate for attention and they hate when they are not the center of attention. Well, 50 Cent need to make it make sense, but he can't. But he see that the thing about 50 Cent, he got a pattern. He love kicking black people when they down. At the end of the day, once again, I'm paying attention to this Diddy thing, but I'm paying attention to it by far. The same thing with Jay-Z. I'm paying attention to it from afar. But I will say this about Jay-Z, and I'm just gonna put this, yeah, 50 Cent, of course he is. And I'm gonna definitely put this out about Jay-Z because somebody need to just say this about Jay-Z. I guess I'm the one to say, listen, if Jay-Z is under a lot of scrutiny for some of the stuff that he's being accused of, well, now he know how Tory Lanez feel when you basically conspired to basically get him locked up. Because, like I said, that Tory Lanez case was bogus, and it's a reason why his father named you, Beyonce, and that rat that works for you. Jay-Z showed you his hand when he hired a known informant. So if the feds is getting information about Jay-Z, he might want to look at Desiree Perez. You got a known rat. You got a known rat working for you who wore a wire. It's documented. Once again, you guys, look up Desiree Perez profile. Look up her history. The lady got caught with 35 birds. That is some serious work. She got caught with 35 birds. 30, I'm going to say that again. Do you know how much work that is? She got caught with 35 birds. She cut a deal to wear wire to snitch on the plug, on her plug. I used to be in the game. I ain't never touched that much work. If I had access to that kind of work, I wouldn't even be talking to y'all. But she wore a wire. So what makes you think she ain't wearing a wire again? Jay-Z showed me you got to be the dumbest motherfucker in the world to have a known rat working for you. So you deserve whatever comes your way. She might be the one that's feeding them information. She was working with the cartels. She was working with the cartels. I mean, who you think she? Who? I mean, come on, man. I mean, no random person got access to that much work. Look it up. She got caught with 35 birds. That's worth anywhere from 700,000 to possibly a million, depending on how much you sell your birds for. Some people, depending on some people, I'm giving up too much information, but oh well. Some people, when they get to work, I'm pretty sure some of y'all used to be in the business, especially y'all Texas dude. Sometimes when y'all get to work, if it's 70 cent, if it's 70% pure or 80% pure, you gonna cut it. It's not gonna be, to the customers, it's not gonna be that good, but you can extend the profit. So if even if you got 35 birds of pure and you broke it down, you talk about that's $1 million. Now, I never really cut my stuff, you know. I never cut it, but at the end of the day, I knew people that used to do it. So I'm from Oakland. They used to call Oakland the city of dope. So I'm just saying, I knew people that knew people that knew people. I have no idea. I have no idea. That's what make me kind of like scratch my head. Everybody know what she did, and I don't know why people haven't called Jay-Z out for that. I would never trust nobody like Jay-Z. This is why a lot of people who actually, work with Jay-Z or had, interaction with Jay-Z just say stuff about him. That was just weird. So, but anyway, I listen, I can say whatever I want to say. I can say whatever I want to say. What's gonna happen? I can speak on New York, I can speak on Texas, I can speak on whatever the hell I want to speak on. Don't want to have you don't want to have a conversation about New York. New York is known for historical snitches. So don't play with me. You don't want to have that conversation. New York is historically known for snitches. And I can name names. So you don't want to play those type of games with me. That's one. Nicky Barnes, Alpo, a certain boxing content creator. You don't want to have them conversations. Oh yeah, the Hispanic, the Mexican rat, with the funny colored hair. So y'all known for having historical snitches. Sammy the Bull responsible for catching 32 bodies. And he admitted to being a rat. He said he snitched on John Gotti because said John Gotti was going to don't play with me. Don't play with me. Talked about I can't speak on, man. If you don't get out of here. You still got historical snitches, documented snitches. I'm talking about historical monumental snitches. I mean, just own up to it, but don't come here talking about I can't speak on New York. You like you sound dumb. He said no, but I'm just saying. But anyway, I got off subject a little bit. But anyway, it all ties to Fat Joe, because I'm just saying he has always came across as a dude that was just trying to soak up game and mimic it into stardom. And I think the reason why Fat Joe lasted this long because he started talking as if he was a brother. He started because, like I said, Fat Joe did not start claiming he was black till like maybe like the mid 2000s. But I don't consider him black. And Tariq Nasheed has offered to debate Fat Joe, and he said nothing. And I know Fat Joe would get destroyed. But I blame black people for this because at the end of the day, we didn't gave out far too many passes. Like I said, it's time to start taking these plates away, cutting these passes, all this kind of stuff. We got to stop being moved. And shout out to Lord Jamar, man, for standing up for himself. Now, I'm a guarantee that if this subject gets hot, I promise you that the op, I promise you that you know Agent Curtis is gonna find himself getting in the middle of this because 50 Cent loved to involve himself in everybody's business. He loved to stick his nose in everybody's business as if he's personally involved, but he's a troll. At the end of the day, 50 Cent ain't been popping for a minute. they killed him off in Den of Thieves. And by the way, I can't wait to see Den of Thieves too. So 50 Cent still making those low budget movies with Lionsgate. I heard what's the face kind of been talking too. What's dude's name who used to be with not Nocturnal? What's his name? Loch Ness. Yeah, so I'm just saying. But Lord Jamar, he said it himself. I seen the movie. I seen the movie. Microphone check. I seen it at the Piedmont Theater, a theater that I forgot even existed because I don't really go to that. I don't go to that part of Oakland. I don't go to west west north Oakland very often. So I seen it there. I thought it was a good piece. You know, I agree with most of the stuff that was in the movie, but I've been saying this for a while. Hip hop was solely created by Black Americans, and I do know that the Jamaicans played a role in elevating it. But at the end of the day, you cannot create something if you are inspired by something. If you catch my drift, Kool Herc was inspired by Black American music. And if you go all the way back, if you go all the way back to the 20s and stuff, you can find old records where you had, I don't know the names of these people, but you can find old records of these dudes singing and rhyming and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I'm a historian when it pertains to that. Here's the thing: if Latinos play such a pivotal role in hip hop, why did you hear a lot of Latino influenced rap songs? They were sampling R&B songs. Big Pun blew up sampling the OJ's "Darling Darling Baby," and last time I checked, the OJ's was from Ohio. So last time I checked, it was from Ohio. So if you Latino, now when he did "Don't Want to Be a Player No More," the remix was Spanish when he did the remix, but the original song from the album, he sampled the OJ's "Darling Darling Baby," and Eddie Levert and them dudes was from Ohio. They was from the Cleveland area. So there you go, right there. The only person back in the day that had Spanish influenced music, and this was 10 years after Rapper's Delight, was Mellow Man Ace. See, now I'm becoming Pastor Town. Now I'm becoming, you know what I'm saying, Uncle Town, because he was the only one that really had the Latino flavor in hip hop music. So I bet y'all don't even remember Mellow Man Ace. Then you had Kid Frost, all those dudes came around, and Kid Frost was Mexican. And like I said before, Kid Frost, what pissed me off on that song La Raza, I felt like he was trying to sneak diss black people. So I know, yeah, so I know my history. So, you know, Fat Joe and these people like Dr. What's his name? Derek Cologne. He came on my channel before and I cooked his ass just like Tariq Nasheed did. I don't know if y'all remember, but Dr. Cologne came on my channel trying to talk that goofy stuff and I cooked his ass. And I cook his ass again. Just because I was from the West Coast don't mean I'm not up on my hip hop. Well, Be Real. See, that's what I'm saying. Be Real, them didn't come till like the 90s and stuff, but I'm just saying they didn't create the stuff. I mean, hip hop was already established. It was already established. It was at the point to where you already knew that hip hop was here. And by the way, I'm one of the biggest Cypress Hill fans out there. Cypress Hill, yeah. Cypress Hill, they had fire. I ain't even gonna lie. And that's the thing. We never said that. Here's the thing. Once again, we never said And that's what pissed me off. And that's why I get mad when these idiots, when these handkerchief heads and these Sambos and these white supremacists come on my channel trying to argue with me about Eminem and saying that Eminem get hate because of his skin color, which is stupid. First of all, let me give you dumbasses another history lesson. Let's take it back to 1986. There was an album that came out. By the way, we getting close to the 40th anniversary of this album. I think they should do a 40th anniversary celebration, but we getting close to the 40th anniversary of License to Ill by the Beastie Boys. And I can tell you right now, it was funny when the album first came out, they were playing Hold It Now, Hit It on KSOL. That was our hip hop station. And then KSOL started to kind of fade out, and then Camby L took over. But KSOL was playing the Beastie Boys Hold It Down, Hit It. Now, I forgot what exact date, because some of you information specialists look up and see what day License to Ill came out. I don't remember the exact day it came out. I don't even remember the month, but I know it came out in 1986 because I was going to Claremont Junior High. So the album comes out. So lo and behold, people bought, and now keep in mind, CDs wasn't the thing back then. People were buying tapes and albums. So I remember this dude named Damien. He came and let me tell you how the conversation went too. So he was one of the first people to buy the album. Okay, what day? Okay, no, okay, yeah. Okay, there you go. I was going to Claremont, yeah. So Damien came with the album cover. He brought it to school, right? So we was at gym. So he said, I want y'all to see something. So he opened up the album cover art. He took, you know how when you buy an album, they have basically, sometimes you have the credits with the actual record and like this, and like this paper. So he took it out and we saw that they were white. It didn't turn into no long conversation about they were white. It was just like, oh, they white. Oh, okay. So we moved on. Didn't stop nobody from playing the record. Nobody cared. Nobody cared that the Beastie Boys, nobody cared that they were white. So that's why I laugh when I hear people say, you don't like Eminem because he's white. When you say that you don't like his music, you sound stupid. Okay, so then how do you explain House of Pain? And I mean, House of Pain made heat. I can tell you right now, I know people like Jump Around, but they had a song called Funky Joint off their second album. Man, I work out to that song. That song is fire. When it's time to rock a funky joint, I'm talking about that beat go hard. Yeah, Paul Wall, same thing with Paul Wall. I mean, but Paul Wall came in the 2000s, but I'm just saying. So when I hear people say that people don't like Eminem because he's white, that is just preposterous. We don't care. People don't like Eminem because half of his music is just whack. Eminem didn't put out garbage music. He hasn't made a good album in like 20 years. And a lot of his verses are overrated. He gets out-rapped on a lot of songs. He got destroyed by Sticky Fingers on Remember Me. So I'm just saying. I don't know why people act like they can't comprehend that. When you say, yeah, Eminem music just aged poorly. It's just terrible. Or as Charles Barkley would say, it's just terrible. Is anybody bumping Eminem's new music right now? No, no, no. I can tell you now, you play Eminem's music at a barbecue, black barbecue. You play Eminem's music at the club. I'm staying, I'm staying right across the street. I'm staying right across the street, right? It's a club lounge right across the street. I can almost hear the music they play. You play Eminem at the club, people going get off the dance floor and probably walk out the damn club. I'll put this on my father's grave. I ain't never been out on a date. I ain't never been on a mission with the homies. I ain't never rolled out and somebody said play some Eminem. I think if I played Eminem while I was taking a young lady out on a date, she probably would have told me to take her home. She probably would have ended the date. Who in the hell, like I said, I ain't never heard. I have never listened. I done been to barbecues. I done been to birthday parties. I done been to house parties. I done been to the club. Ain't don't nobody be bumping no Eminem. Nobody. Nobody don't bump Eminem. Nobody. I can go. I'll tell you now. In Oakland, nobody was bumping Eminem. Not in the public. I ain't even trying to be funny. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. High rents. I'm just saying his music did not age well. But then 50 Cent always got his head up Eminem's ass. That's what I'm saying. He always co-opting black people. When anybody criticize Eminem, then here come 50 Cent. Here come 50 Cent turned it into Django, turned it into what's the dude's name from Django? What's the Sambo that Samuel L. Jackson played in Django Unchained? Oh, appreciate the love. Eminem is somebody you play. Now listen, Eminem did made a couple of he did made some his early stuff was pretty good. But then he just started to play out. And even when Eminem was what you would call kind of okay at his hiatus, Eminem was one of them dudes when you and I'm serious. If I was one of them dudes that did skits on my channel, Eminem was one of them dudes that you play when you get clearly up the street, you roll up the windows, and you make sure you turn both, you turn your head left and right, make sure nobody ain't looking, and then that's when you play Eminem. And my thing is, if Eminem is so Detroit, and Eminem is so Detroit, I don't see Eminem doing those. I'm serious. I'm not even being funny. And you can use this segment too as an example. You use this segment, what I said about Eminem. I can tell you now, Eminem's so Detroit. Eminem never, I didn't see him really send no love to the boss. When she passed away, rest in peace to the boss. Do he do music with Peasy? Do he do music with Payroll Giovanni? Do he do music with Babyface Ray? Do he do music with T Grizzly? I mean, the only Detroit dude I know that he worked with was what's his name? What's the dude's name he did No Favors with? That was an okay song. I cannot remember dude's name. Oh, Big Sean. That's like the only, but he don't do, like I said, I ain't seen him on no Sada Baby. I ain't seen him on no Sada Baby track. but he can't work with who he won't. But I'm just saying, if you so Detroit, I don't see you doing features with none of those dudes. Wow, we okay. No, I'm listen. I listen. I can tell you this. I'm serious. I bought Eminem's albums. I bought like his first four albums. But after a while, man, I was like, all right, man, enough of this. He just started to go like really. He started to go really left with some of his music and some of the stuff. I just couldn't relate to that. I just couldn't relate to that country bumpkin, uh, trailer park trash, incest stuff he'd be talking about. I was just like, all right, okay, enough of this. I got to move on. Yeah, I bought the first four albums. His last good album was the one, um, but still, Eminem played out in Oakland after his second album. I kind of like tried to extend it. His last good album to me was the Eminem Show. I think that was the one. Um, that was the one where Dre went back to doing the majority of the production because a couple of his albums where he tried to do a lot of the production because his second album was cool. His third album wasn't that good, and then he came with the fourth album. The fourth album I think was the Eminem Show, something like that. I forgot. I don't got that shit no more. And after that, that was it. Couldn't that I was done. I was like, all right, enough of this. I was just like, I just couldn't relate. Some of that stuff he'd be talking about, especially that little skit about the insane clown posse, that was too much for me. Then that was too much for me. Then all the other crazy stuff he'd be saying because he made like album after album talking about how he wanted to delete his mom, he wanted to delete his wife, he wanted to do all this. I was like, man, get out of here, dude. Eminem lives rent free in my head. Dude, you sound dumb. Dude, you sound dumb. Obviously, your mother, obviously your mother dropped you on your head when she took you home from the hospital. So how am I? You sound dumb. See, here we go. Another erratic Eminem fan. Prove my point. He's proved my point. This is what I mean. You. This is what I mean. His. This is what I mean. He just proved my point. You can't critique his music without them getting mad. Yeah, that was weird too. That was weird too. That was weird too. Of Eminem being in dresses, dressing like Britney Spears and all that kind of stuff. So that was kind of weird. But you know, just some of the stuff he would just say, man, and you just be like, dude, come on, man. And I really pay attention to lyrics. I really pay attention to lyrics. And Eminem said himself that he cared more about lyrics than he do beats. Well, um, obviously you don't care that much about lyrics because there were songs that you had verses in and you just went flat on some of your verses where you said a whole bunch of nothing. And I think even he knows it. And what are you comparing Bushwick Bill to Eminem? Are you that lost in the sauce? I'm very familiar with Bushwick Bill. Eminem would take it further than Bushwick Bill would take it. The thing about Bushwick Bill, you knew that Bushwick Bill would say some of the stuff for shock value, but Eminem would come across as he really meant the stuff. So nice try though. You can't compare Bushwick Bill to Eminem, where Bushwick Bill only made one full fledged solo album. Eminem is on what album number? I don't know. Lost track. One of the dudes I'm gonna say that I couldn't relate to, another dude that I couldn't relate to, that I think was on the same the same lines as Eminem was Brother Lynch Hug out of Sacramento. Some of the stuff Brother Lynch Hug would say in his raps, I listen to like one of his songs that I would Brother Lynch Hug would be talking about cannibalism and all. I was like, one dude played his music. I said, turn this shit off. Brother Lynch Hung, I was like, oh hell no. And that's just some of the stuff Brother Lynch Hung would be talking about. I was like, all right. When he did that interview with DJ Vlad Rally, when Vlad asked him would he eat it, when he asked him would he eat a human being, he said if it's seasoned good. I said, all right. I was like, I was like, I'm good. All right, I was like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. When he said, "Yeah, if it's see, you could probably find that interview." He said, "What you eat here?" I said, "All right, I'm good." I, said, I was like, I was like, hell no. Of course. Well, you know, that's what I. That's well, you already know that Tethers and Sambos is gonna defend Fat Joke. I mean, did you not expect anything less from them? There's always gonna be the dude, the non-black defender that's gonna put on their cape for. But Fat Joe is a clown, and he been a clown. But like I said, this is why this continues because you have people that look like us trying to give this dude a pass. What do Fat Joe really? What have we really done for the black community? I mean, he was taking shots at Colin Kaepernick, but Fat Joe been sneak dissing the black community for a while. But what do a person's finances have to do with fact or presenting evidence of something? So there you have it. I said this before. I said this before. If you would have listened earlier, I never Fat Joe made. I said that I bought a couple of Fat Joe's music, but Fat Joe is not no brother. He is the other. I guarantee you, I should start a GoFundMe. I should start a GoFundMe to do a DNA test on Fat Joe and offer him like 50 racks to take a DNA test to prove that he's black. I guarantee you he won't take it. He gonna do just he gonna pull a Sean King. And y'all remember what Sean King did, because Sean King went from being black to half black to a quarter black to, well, I'm just not gonna talk about this anymore. This is divisive. When that dude offered him, like, he offered, I don't know who he was, but he offered Sean King X amount of money to take a DNA test to see what he really was, and he refused. But we all know that Sean King is white. His original birth certificate has him listed as white. Sean King is white. He did what Rachel Dolezal did. He got a low fade and stuff, and he started to, have what you would call a black appearance and all that kind of stuff. But we all know that Sean King was white, y'all. He was white, y'all. He was wiggity, wiggity, wiggity white, y'all. So, you know, and Rachel Dolezal, another one. That he in the same group with them. Fat Joe, Kamala Harris. That's why he was. That's why he was endorsing her. Fat Joe, Kamala Harris, Rachel Dolezal, um, um, Sean King. They're all white, y'all. White, y'all. You gotta flow, Joe. You gotta let them know. You gotta flow, Joe. Shit, the first shit. Sam Seals, the first tape, not CD. I'm 50, so I'm from the record and tape era. Uh, what was the first tape that I bought? I think the first tape that I bought was NWA, um, and the Posse. I think that was the first tape that I think that was the first tape that I bought. NWA and the Posse. That was that album cover that had Ice Cube with the Jerry curl, and it had Easy E and some Mexican dudes on there, Dr. Dre, DLC. So that actually came out before Straight Outta Compton. It was called NWA, and I'm talking about it was one of the most generic album covers I ever seen in my. I'm talking about they was literally like. I don't even know where they was. I don't even know where the hell they was, but that was like, I think, the first tape I bought. Oh, that's funny. That's funny that you brought up MC8. We Come Strap. When I say when I say that was a masterpiece. MC8 featuring Compton's Most Wanted. We Come Strap. You could play that whole album from top to bottom. You did not have to push the fast forward. I'm talking about We Come Strap by MC8. That is a classic. I used to play that album from beginning to end. I don't even know who produced We Come Strap, but the production was flawless. I'm talking about, and the sad part about that, eight never made anything that could compare to that. It was kind of like what happened with the Lost Boys. The Lost Boys made decent stuff, but they just never could top legal drug money. If there was ever a phrase or ever a time where you could say somebody made an album too good, it was the Lost Boys' first album. Whew, that first Lost Boys album, that album was cold. That album was cold. Of course, Eric B. Of course, of course. Yeah, the Lost Boys. I hated the fact that they never could top legal drug money. That they just made the album too good. It was too good. I'm talking about it was just too. It was too good. I mean, love, peace, and happiness was okay, but and the third album was okay, but legal drug money, they just never. They just could that once again. That whole Lost Boys album, Legal Drug Money, you could play that album from top to bottom without pushing the fast forward. But I would play when I pop that in, I'd play that whole album. Yeah, I remember Freaky Ty. Recipes of Freaky Ty. Yeah, it was called Legal Drug Money. Like I said, that album was cold. And I said to myself when I first bought the CD, I said, I don't think they're gonna be able to touch this album. I don't think they're gonna ever be able to. I don't think they're gonna ever be able to make an album that's gonna match it, and they just couldn't. And I think even they knew it. But that's what happens when you they put. I guess they put. I mean, they made the man. Yeah, I remember boot camp click. Shout out to Buckshot Shorty and all them dudes. Shout out to them. Who got the props? Who got the props? 5'3", Evil D and Buckshot. Who got on the? That was my joint. Oh, Renee. Yeah, yeah. I used to love that video. I used to love that video. Renee, especially when he caught dude slipping. Don't do it, kid. Don't do it. Don't do it, kid. It's the game. It's the game. Man, that video should have me dying laughing. Like, don't do it. Don't do it, kid. Don't do it. Dude was like begging for it. Dude was like, don't do it, kid. He said, you killed my shorty. Dude, don't do it, kid. Don't. Man, y'all go, baby. I was rolling when I saw that. He said, don't do. He said it's the game. He said, don't do it. I ain't gonna lie. I did a video and I tried to explain Mariah Carey when she first came out. Mariah Carey wouldn't answer the question whether she. And I remember Mariah Carey, and I'm gonna end it on that note. Before I end this video, this stream. I remember when Mariah Carey first came out. What was it? Visions of Love in 1990. I was going to Fremont High before Fremont High actually had a football stadium or a football field. They used to play their home games at um, that school off of Fruitville or close to Fruitville. But I remember Mariah Carey would not answer the question whether she was black or not when she first came out because I could have sworn Mariah Carey was saying she was white. Then around then around when she made the Fantasy album, she started to say, "Okay, I'm black." But you could look at Mariah Carey and tell that she had black features or she had some kind of melanin in her, and you could tell by the way she sung that she had some, black in her. But Mariah Carey, if I remember correctly, Mariah Carey for years wouldn't answer the question whether she was black or not. Yeah. Um, because remember, like I said, I'm 50, so I remember. I was going. Some things you just never forget. I remember when she first came out with Visions of Love, she tried to have white looking hairstyles, and the way she sung, but mm, I could have sworn she wouldn't answer the question on whether she was black or not. I think she would evade that question a lot. She didn't start saying she was black till like later on in her career when she definitively said, "Okay, I'm black." Listen, dude, I can say whatever I want to say. Okay? So don't come on here trying to tell me what to miss you with. Because if you don't like what I have to say, I stand on everything I say about Fat Joe. He not black. He not one of us. He's a perpetrator. And he's a perpetrator and he's a culture vulture. So if you don't like what I have to say, you can get your ass to fuck off my channel, bitch. Now what? Go cry somewhere else. I gotta think because I don't remember. Mom, them type of dudes. I don't want to say none of them dudes' names because a lot of them dudes, um, a lot of them dudes is like prominent, real street dudes. So you kind of like it's one of them things you don't say real street dudes' names like on these type of platforms stuff because either they have family members or that kind of stuff. I'm from over there by where Roosevelt is. Over there by where Roosevelt is, and there's a liquor store where the 14th bus, I think the 14th bus still come over there. So I used to be over there. I just went over there a couple of days ago. I'll tell you what. There is a rapper that called himself Offset Set Jim. That's my homeboy. I think he changed his name. But if you look at some of his videos, he from the same hood as me. I'm talking about he from Offset Jim is from the same hood as me. Light skinned dude. So, and if you look at some of his videos, that's the area where I'm from. I don't want to say too. I don't want to say too. I don't want to say too much on. I don't want to say too. I don't want to say too much on here. But yeah, if you look on some, if yeah, shout out to Milwaukee. If you see some of Offset Jim's videos, where he shot some of his videos, that's like he from the same. I'm talking about he from the same. I'm talking about he from the same turf as me. Yeah, we need to start being gatekeepers. But if Fat Joe's so bothered by what Tariq Nasheed had to say, why don't he debate him? Let me host. I'll be fair to Fat Joe. Let me host. I love to host that debate. Let me moderate. I mean, if it's if Fat Joe is that contempt on what he have to say, if he believe that much in himself, let's have an actual debate. Oh, appreciate the donation. Let's have an actual debate. I can moderate it. Fat Joe versus Tariq Nasheed. I don't think it's gonna go too well for Fat Joe. I don't think it's go. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's. I don't think it's gonna go very. No, I would just write down. I would just write down some questions. It would be very professional. We could have it in neutral territory. We could have it in neutral territory. We could have it in Las Vegas. We could have it in neutral territory, which would be Las Vegas. Like I said, let me narrate it. Let me narrate it, or let me host. I can write down some questions. I can moderate. We could even have a panel. We could have a panel, and then we could judge the debate, and then we could determine who's the winner. We could have a panel of 7 judges, and then we could just have and I could host. I could come with some questions for real. Make some money off of it. But Fat Joe ain't gonna do no debate because he gonna get destroyed. He gonna get destroyed. You see what Tariq Nasheed did to Myron Gaines. He got Myron Gaines just like he got Myron Gaines like not even believing in himself. It's funny how black people contribute to creating a lot of things that we use currently now, but they never get credit for it. But all of a sudden, black people feel this need to want to include everybody. Well, nah, fuck that. We created hip hop. Black people. The only things Puerto Ricans did, Latinos did, was like basically plug in the speakers. That's the only like I that's that's the only thing they did. Is plug. I mean, if you consider plugging in speakers, your contribution did. I guess more power to you. Nobody could plug up speakers better than the Puerto Ricans can. So for real, that's the only thing y'all did is plug the speakers up. Turn on the electricity and bring in the crates with the record. That's the only fucking thing y'all did. You didn't create jack shit. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Yeah, after they saw us doing it, black people created tagging. They created breakdancing slash pop locking. Now, I will say this. I will say this. The dude that played Ozone on Breaking, he was half black and Latino. He was from Chicago. He was a from what I was told, Ozone was a real blood too. That's why he wore red flags or on the movie Breaking. So that's as close as you gonna get. Yeah, Shabba, but he was half black and I think Puerto Rican. I gotta look it up because I did research on him. It's gonna use him for a video, but um he was from Chicago. From what I was told, he was a real blood. He was a real blood. But yeah, shout out to Breaking from 1984. And it was funny. I You really don't understand how bad acting is until you get older. But um, man, the acting on Breaking and Breaking Two was horrendous. It really looked like they were reading off cue cards. You know, I thought William Shatner was one of the worst actors that I ever saw in my life, but man, watching Breaking, I mean, Turbo, what will we do now? We have to save the. What will we do now? The center is in deep jeopardy of losing the center. I'm like, you just really don't understand how bad the acting. And William Shatner, like I said, was one of the worst actors that I ever saw in my life. Spock, stop it. What will we do now? I mean, so, but I'm glad you. I'm not even trying to be funny, but like the acting at Breaking was just terrible. They could not act to save their life. They couldn't act to save their life. But yeah, William Shatner was the whoo, Lord, man, man. Stop it, you damn it. I mean, I'm just your boy just keeping it a buck. Yeah, yeah, Myron crashing out hard. What I say, Myron is like one step away to becoming a full-fledged, probably alcoholic, and he probably on suicide. Well, he has not been the same, but like he asked for it. He asked for it. And what was so funny, he destroyed Sneeko. He destroyed Sneeko and Myron on the same platform. He destroyed Sneeko so bad to where Sneeko then almost converted to being pro-black now. So Sneeko, you know, but he got Myron Gaines like really confused. Like Myron Gaines is like really crashing out. But anyway, you guys, appreciate y'all being here for the chat. More to come. It's your boy Town. I'm out.